My name is Amanda, and I am about to tell you how my best friend of 15 years became my worst enemy, and how I made sure she paid for every lie, every betrayal, and every stolen dream. This story begins with what I thought was the strongest friendship of my life. Lisa and I had been inseparable since college, where we met during our freshman orientation. We were both business majors, both ambitious, and both dreamers who talked endlessly about starting our own companies someday. Over the years, we supported each other through everything. Bad breakups, family deaths, job losses, career changes. Lisa was always there, and I was always there for her. We were more than friends. We were sisters, or so I thought. When we turned 30, both of us were stuck in corporate jobs we hated, making decent money but feeling unfulfilled. That was when I came up with the idea that would change everything. I had always been passionate about interior design, even though my degree was in business. I spent my weekends helping friends redecorate their homes, and I had a natural eye for color, space, and style. More importantly, I noticed a gap in the market for affordable interior design services for young professionals who wanted beautiful homes, but could not afford traditional high-end designers. My idea was simple but revolutionary. Create a company that offered interior design consultations and complete room makeovers for middle-class clients, using a combination of affordable retail pieces, strategic thrift finds, and DIY elements. We would call it Dream Space Design, and our tagline would be Luxury Looks Real-World Budgets. I spent months developing this concept, researching the market, creating business plans, and even designing mock-up portfolios. I shared everything with Lisa because that was what we did. We shared everything. Lisa was incredibly supportive, or so it seemed. She helped me refine my business plan, gave feedback on my design portfolios, and even offered to help with the marketing strategy since she had more experience in that area. Amanda, she told me one evening as we worked on my business proposal, this is going to be huge. You are going to revolutionize how people think about interior design. I was so grateful to have a friend who believed in my vision and wanted to help me succeed. In early spring, I was finally ready to launch Dream Space Design. I had saved enough money to quit my corporate job, had lined up my first few clients through word of mouth, and was preparing to make my dream a reality. That was when Lisa dropped a bombshell that changed everything. Amanda, she said during our weekly coffee date, I have something exciting to tell you. I have decided to start my own business too. I was thrilled for her. That is amazing. What kind of business? Lisa smiled, but there was something cold in her eyes that I should have recognized as a warning sign. Interior design, she said. I am calling it affordable elegance. The concept is luxury looks for middle-class budgets. My blood ran cold. She had not just stolen my idea. She had stolen my exact concept, my target market, and even my basic tagline. Lisa, I said carefully, that sounds very similar to what I have been planning. She laughed, but it was not her usual warm laugh. Oh, Amanda, interior design is not exactly a new concept. There is room for both of us in the market. But over the next week, I discovered that Lisa had not just stolen my general idea. She had stolen everything. She had taken the business plan we had worked on together and submitted it as her own to potential investors. She had copied my design portfolios, claiming the mock-up rooms as her own work. She had even reached out to the clients I had lined up and convinced them to hire her instead by offering lower prices and claiming more experience. Most devastatingly, she had registered the business name, Dream Space Design, before I could, forcing me to find a new name for my own company. When I confronted her about this, her mask finally slipped completely. Amanda, she said with a smirk, you always were too naive for business. Did you really think you could just waltz into interior design with no formal training and succeed? I have been watching you play dress-up with your friends' apartments for years, and honestly, it was cute, but this is the real world. You stole my business plan, I said, my voice shaking with anger. I improved your business plan, she corrected. And frankly, I am better positioned to execute it. I have more business experience, better connections, and let me be honest, better taste. Your design aesthetic is very suburban mom trying too hard. That was the moment I realized that the woman I had considered my best friend for 15 years had never really respected me at all. She had been studying me, learning from me, and waiting for the right opportunity to surpass me. But Lisa had made one critical error in her calculations. She assumed that because I was trusting and supportive, I was also weak. She was about to learn how wrong she was. I spent the next month quietly gathering evidence of Lisa's theft. I collected our text messages where we discussed my business plans, emails where I had shared my research and client lists, and drafts of my business plan that were time-stamped months before she claimed to have developed her original concept. I also discovered something interesting. Lisa had been planning this betrayal for much longer than I realized. Going through our old communications, I found evidence that she had been subtly discouraging me from pursuing interior design for over a year, always finding reasons why it might not work or why I should wait longer before starting my business. Maybe you should get some formal training first, she had said. The market might be oversaturated right now, she had warned. Are you sure you are ready for the financial risk? She had questioned. All along, she had been stalling me while she developed her own version of my business behind my back. But my investigation revealed something even more damaging. Lisa had not just stolen from me. I reached out to our mutual friends and former classmates, and I discovered that Lisa had a pattern of this behavior. In college, she had stolen a roommate's boyfriend by pretending to console him about relationship problems, and then seducing him. After graduation, she had taken credit for a co-worker's marketing campaign that led to a major promotion. 2 years ago, she had borrowed money from another friend for a family emergency, and never paid it back. Lisa was a serial manipulator who used people's trust and affection to exploit them, and I had just been her latest victim. Armed with this knowledge, I decided to destroy her the same way she had tried to destroy me. Systematically and completely. First, I focused on her business. I reached out to all of the clients Lisa had stolen from me and provided them with evidence that she had used my business plan and design concepts without permission. I explained that I was the original creator of the luxury looks, real-world budgets concept, and that Lisa had misrepresented her experience and qualifications. Most of the clients were horrified to learn they had been caught in the middle of this deception. Several of them canceled their contracts with Lisa immediately and hired me instead. Others demanded refunds for deposits they had already paid. But I was just getting started. Next, I reported Lisa's business name theft to the appropriate authorities. Since I could prove that I had developed the dream space design concept first, and that Lisa had registered the name knowing it belonged to me, I was able to successfully challenge her trademark application. The legal process forced Lisa to rebrand her entire business, losing her early marketing investments and confusing potential clients who had heard about dream space design through word of mouth. While that legal battle was ongoing, I launched my own company under the name Authentic Interiors and began implementing the business plan that Lisa had stolen. But my most effective revenge came through social media and professional networks. I created a detailed blog post titled, "When Friends Become Competitors," a cautionary tale about trust and business ethics. I did not mention Lisa by name, but I told the entire story of how my best friend had stolen my business concept, my clients, and even my business name. The post went viral in our local business community and was shared hundreds of times on LinkedIn and Facebook. Everyone who knew both Lisa and me could read between the lines and understand exactly who the story was about. The response was overwhelming. Other people began sharing their own stories about Lisa's manipulative behavior, both in the comments and in private messages to me. A pattern emerged of someone who had been using and betraying friends and colleagues for years. But the most damaging revelation came from an unexpected source: Lisa's ex-boyfriend Marcus. Marcus reached out to me after seeing my blog post and told me something that made my blood boil all over again. "Amanda," he said, "I need to tell you something about Lisa that you might not know. When you two were planning your business last year, she used to call me and complain about how pathetic your ideas were. She said you were delusional if you thought you could succeed in interior design, and she was only pretending to be supportive because she felt sorry for you." He showed me text messages where Lisa had mocked my design skills, laughed about my amateur business plan, and bragged about how she was going to show Amanda how interior design is really supposed to be done. The cruelest message read, "Poor Amanda actually thinks she invented affordable interior design. It is kind of sad how excited she gets about such basic concepts. I almost feel bad about taking over her little hobby project, but someone needs to save her from the embarrassment of failing publicly. Reading those messages was like being punched in the stomach. The friend I had trusted and supported had been mocking me behind my back while stealing my dreams. I shared Marcus's screenshots on social media, and the response was swift and brutal. Lisa's reputation in our professional and social circles was completely destroyed. People who had known her for years began reevaluating their relationships with her and sharing their own stories of manipulation and betrayal. Her new business, already struggling from the legal challenges and client losses, completely collapsed as word spread about her unethical behavior. But the personal consequences were even more satisfying. Lisa found herself socially isolated as mutual friends chose sides and overwhelmingly sided with me. She was uninvited from parties, excluded from group activities, and blocked by former friends on social media. Her professional network also turned against her. The business community in our city is smaller than people realize, and word of her behavior spread quickly through professional organizations and networking groups. Lisa tried to fight back by spreading rumors about me, claiming that I was lying about the timeline of my business development, and that she had actually come up with the concept first. But the evidence I had collected was too overwhelming, and her reputation for dishonesty was too well established. Her attempts to discredit me only made her look more desperate and untrustworthy. 6 months after Lisa's betrayal, my business was thriving while hers had completely failed. Authentic Interiors had grown to include 5 employees and had a waiting list of clients who wanted to work with the company that offered honest design for real people. A tagline that everyone understood was a direct reference to the Lisa situation. Meanwhile, Lisa had been forced to take a corporate job with a company that knew nothing about her recent scandals, accepting a salary much lower than what she had been making before her failed entrepreneurial venture. But the most poetic justice came a year later, when I was featured in our city's business magazine as Entrepreneur of the Year for building a successful company that was changing how people thought about affordable interior design. The article mentioned my journey from corporate employee to successful business owner, including a brief reference to overcoming early challenges from a former business partner who attempted to steal proprietary concepts. Lisa's theft of my idea had actually become part of my success story, proof that I had overcome adversity and built something authentic and valuable. Meanwhile, Lisa's social media showed a very different story. Her posts had become infrequent and bitter, filled with vague complaints about fake friends and jealous people who could not handle her success. But everyone who knew the real story could see that she was isolated, professionally damaged, and struggling with the consequences of her own choices. 2 years after the betrayal, I received an unexpected message from Lisa. "Amanda," she wrote, "I know you probably do not want to hear from me, but I wanted to apologize for how things ended between us. I was going through a difficult time and made some poor decisions. I hope we can put this behind us and maybe rebuild our friendship." I stared at that message for a long time, remembering the 15 years of friendship we had shared and the devastating betrayal that had ended it. Then I deleted the message without responding. Some betrayals are too deep to forgive, and some people have shown too clearly who they really are to deserve second chances. Lisa had not apologized because she was genuinely sorry. She had apologized because her isolation and professional struggles had made her realize what she had lost. But the damage was permanent, and the lesson was learned. Today, my business continues to grow and evolve. I have learned to be more careful about who I trust with my ideas and dreams, but I have not let Lisa's betrayal make me cynical or closed off. I have built a team of employees who share my values of honesty, creativity, and respect for clients. We work together to create beautiful spaces for people who thought luxury design was out of their reach. Most importantly, I have built real friendships based on mutual respect and genuine support, not the toxic dynamic I had with Lisa, where one person was always taking and the other was always giving. Sometimes former mutual friends ask me if I ever miss Lisa or regret how everything ended. The answer is simple. I miss the friend I thought she was, but I do not miss the person she actually turned out to be. Lisa taught me valuable lessons about trust, business, and the importance of protecting your dreams from people who would steal them. She also taught me that sometimes the best revenge is simply succeeding despite someone's attempts to destroy you. My business is not successful because I wanted to spite Lisa. It is successful because I had a good idea, worked hard to execute it, and refused to let her betrayal stop me from pursuing my dreams. But I would be lying if I said there was not some satisfaction in knowing that while she was trying to destroy me, I was building something real and lasting that she could never take away. The woman who mocked my amateur ideas and suburban mom aesthetic ended up watching me succeed with the exact concepts she had tried to steal. And the pathetic friend she had planned to humiliate became the entrepreneur, who proved that authentic vision and hard work matter more than manipulation and betrayal. Lisa got exactly what she deserved. The consequences of her own choices and the knowledge that she had destroyed the best friendship she ever had for a business that ultimately failed anyway. Sometimes karma does not need your help. It just needs you to keep moving forward and let the truth speak for itself. If you have ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely, then you know exactly how this story feels. Here at Revenge Janet, we bring you the most satisfying tales of friendship betrayal and the sweet justice that follows. These backstabbers think they can use your trust against you, but they always underestimate the power of truth and determination. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell, because you will not want to miss a single story where fake friends get exactly what they deserve.